Hello everyone, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my review for 2004's Seed of Chucky. This is the last film in the Child's Play Chucky movie series that was released in theaters, and this one follows Chucky and Tiffany's kid, Glenn or Glenda, whichever one you want to choose. Is he or she? I guess it brings Chucky and Tiffany back to life. They're in Hollywood, because they were going to be part of a movie called Chucky Goes Psycho, which would have actually probably been a much better movie than this, but they stow away in Jennifer Tilly's limousine and get to her house, and they make plans to transfer their bodies into Jennifer Tilly and Redman, but first they have to get Jennifer Tilly pregnant with Chucky semen, and so that Glenn will have a body and they can transfer it into the baby. I think this was just a really dumb story. The storyline was just really dumb, and everything, but and the cast is alright. Jennifer Tilly plays herself and also returns as the voice of Tiffany, and she actually surprisingly was really not that bad. You could tell the difference between herself and Tiffany, which could have been a lot worse with a worse actor or actress, and I thought that part wasn't. They did a decent job with that. Redman, his acting wasn't really bad, but he's this movie just made him look like a douchebag. I know he's probably not like that in real life, but man, they just made him like a really big jerk. But other cast members in this movie who's Hannah Spirit is Jennifer Tilly's assistant. I had a big crush on her back then. I didn't really know her much from anything else except for the Agent Cody Banks sequel, which I also found to be a disappointing sequel, but I still liked her in it. I thought I just had a really big crush on her back then. And I really liked I liked her in this movie. I kind of wish she would have been in it a little bit more. She's actually one of the few people that acted like she had a brain in it, out of the humans, I mean. John Waters is in this movie too. He has a small role as a paparazzi who is taking pictures of Chucky masturbating into the cup to get ready to impregnate Jennifer Tilly. One of the silliest scenes in the series. And then, of course, Chucky finds out about him and goes and follows Glenn, takes Glenn and follows him to kill him before he can I guess, sell the pictures and stuff. But Glenn accidentally kills him when he scares him. And it was actually a pretty awesome scene. That some acid falls on his face, and it's actually really one of the coolest deaths in the series, and the most memorable scene in the movie to me. Billy Boyd does the voice of Glenn and Glenda, and he does a pretty decent job. I don't think he's like really great character or anything like that, but I think he does a decent enough job. I kind of hope we get to see Glenn and Glenda eventually again, maybe in future movie. Have them, by now they'd be teenagers if they of course they grew up they were growing up really fast, so I don't know how old they'd be now, but if they were to do it technically, they could make them like be teenagers, and it'd be pretty cool to see them do that if they could cast the right people to do it, to play them. It'd be interesting to see how Glenda, how psychotic she would be, and see how Glenn is at that point. Brad Dourif is once again excellent as Chucky. He's hilarious in this movie. There were parts in it where I was just about to die laughing because some of the stuff he says is just so freaking hilarious, and it's really jacked up at parts of it too. Like when they first see Glenn and he's talking about how the kid's parents must be ugly and stuff. I thought that was just hilarious. And one of my favorite one-liners in the series, most people think it's just absolutely stupid, but I thought it was hilarious when he runs Britney Spears off the road and he's like, "Oops, I did it again." It cracks me up every time. I'm one that absolutely loves puns, so that just kind of, Chucky doing a Britney Spears pun when Britney Spears is one of my favorite singers, I thought it was hilarious and awesome. The score in this is actually really good too. It's one of the best. I think it's the best score since Child's Play 2, and probably my second favorite score out of the film series. I'll say for sure after I watch the other two, but it's definitely one of the best scores in the movie series. It was done by Pino Donaggio. I probably butchered the name, but he's known for working with Brian De Palma, and he did the score for Carrie, which is one of my favorite horror movie scores from one of my favorite horror movies. And he did a really good job with this one. I think like I said, it's easily one of the best scores in the movie. One of the best things about the movie. The cinematography was really great too. I think it was the best we've had since Child's Play 3. And it's not the best cinematography in the series, but it's definitely one of them. There's a lot of really cool, good shots and stuff in it. The Hollywood sign and stuff like that. They did a good job on that. But overall, I think this movie was alright. It could have been a lot better. The story was dumb and everything. Some of the kills were really cool, but the story was just really dumb. The whole trying to impregnate Jennifer Tilly and then transfer their bodies, it was just silly, and it could have been a lot better than it was. At the end of Bride of Chucky, I was really hoping for this movie to be a lot different than it was, but I still kind of hold this movie a little bit higher than most people do, because it's the only one I got to see in the movie theater. I went to see it when I was 12 years old, and back then I absolutely loved this movie, and it was before I'd really seen the whole series. I had only seen, at the time, I'd only seen Bride of Chucky in the first one, so I was just going in after seeing those. I really enjoyed it. It's definitely not a great installment in this series. It could have been a lot better. Like I said, the comedy parts of it most of the time worked. There were some jokes that were kind of dumb, but I do enjoy this movie more than most people do. But it is definitely one of the worst in the series, and it's not one that I would watch just to go watch it. If I'm watching a Chucky movie, it's not one that I would choose to just say, "Hey, I want to watch a Chucky movie," and pop that one in. I only watch it when I do my marathons, which I usually do at least once a year or every other year. But now this was it's like I said, it's not one of my favorites. The storyline was just so dumb. It could have been a lot better and everything. But I'd give this one a 6.5 out of 10. Because like I said, I don't absolutely hate it, but I don't really love it either. It's okay for what it is. As far as the comedy parts of it go, it was hilarious at parts of it, but it, it wasn't the type of Chucky. It's not the type of Chucky movie that I love anymore. I'm more into the like the first three and the next two. I like the darker tones and stuff like that. I felt Bride of Chucky balanced the horror and comedy a lot better, and this one, it didn't know which one to lean on, and I think that the late Roger Ebert said it best. This is really two movies in one. Part of it is wretched and part of it is hilarious, and I think that's the best way to describe this movie. But anyway, what are your thoughts on The Seed of Chucky? Did you absolutely hate it like I know a lot of people do, or did you like it, or what did you think about it? Let me know in the comments, and if there's any other movies you'd like me to review, let me know, and I'll get to them as soon as I can. And thank you, and have a good night.